Hey guys, it's Janie. Welcome back to the Crafting Bookworm. I have a book haul. Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me apologize in advance for the conversation that you could be hearing in the background. My husband and my sister-in-law having a chat. So I've got a box full of books here that I have been saving up over the past few weeks. So today we went out to the dreaded Walmart. We really don't like to shop at Walmart, but we had to pick up a few gifts for our grand blessings for their birthdays. And I found Lightlark and Nightbane. And these are by Alex Astor. This is, I believe it's a trilogy right now. But they had these two books. Look at those beautiful sprayed edges right there. I will read this to you. It says, "Welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game, where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realm, one ruler must die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray, even as love complicates everything." So I thought that sounded really good. And of course we're not going to read Nightbane. But yeah, I found those two books less than $10 each. The next book we got here, the next couple books here, I ordered from Better World Books. And I still have one other book coming from there, and it just hasn't shown up yet. But this one we got, This Present Darkness by Frank E. Peretti. I like Frank Peretti's writing. I think he is an amazing writer. I had this book before, and I don't know, I misplaced it or whatever. I found book 2 in a box that was in my closet. So let's read this one. Ashton is just a typical small town, but when a skeptical reporter and a prayerful pastor begin to compare notes, they suddenly find themselves fighting a hideous New Age plot to subjugate the townspeople and eventually the entire human race. So, there you go. Frank Peretti is a Christian fiction writer, and I read his book, The Oath, and absolutely loved it, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this as well. The other one I got through Better World Books, I did not know was a children's book, but this is All Is Well by Frank Peretti as well. The Miracle of Christmas in July. It was a really cute story. I went ahead and read it really quick. Really cute story. I was sad that it was a children's book, but there you go. It was. So, okay, so we went to our used bookstore earlier in the month. And the other book that I still have coming is the first book to this middle grade series. And it's called Frost Heart. So I don't want to read the backs of either one of these, but look at how cute those covers are. And then the one I'm waiting on is a blue one, and it is just called Frost Heart. This is the Frost Heart series. So we've got Frost Heart, Rise of the World Eater, and we've got Frost Heart, Escape from Aurora. So there's those two. I also found Big Tree. This is by Brian Selznick. I like Brian Selznick's books. He writes in text and illustrations, and usually they're two different stories that come together in the end. Well, this one was all the same story, but still wrote in illustrations and in text. Now, he does all of his own illustrations and everything, and I've already read this one, but I'll read you the synopsis. It says, a mysterious voice has been speaking to Louise in her dreams. She and her brother Merwin are sycamore seeds who hope to one day set down roots and become big trees. But when a fire forces them to leave their mama tree prematurely, they find themselves catapulted into the unknown, far from home. Alone and unprepared, they must use their wits and imagination to navigate a dangerous world filled with dinosaurs, meteors, and volcanoes. And the fear of never finding a safe place to grow up, as the mysterious voice gets louder, Louise comes to realize their mission in life may be bigger than either of them ever could have imagined. So, it was a really cute story. They're really big books, but they go really fast because of, like, the illustration. So there's the text. There is an illustration of the volcano. So, yeah, really cute story. Really enjoyed it. And I'm just collecting his books. He only has 4. This is the 4th one. The next one we got here is James Patterson and Brian Sitz. This one is called The Shadow. And this one says, only 2 people know that 1930 society man Lamont Cranston has a secret identity as the Shadow, a crusader for justice. One is his greatest love, Margot Lane, and the other is his fiercest enemy, Sherwan Khan. When Khan ambushes the couple, they must risk everything for the slimmest chance of survival in the future. A century and a half later, Lamont awakens in a world both unknown and disturbingly familiar. The first person he meets is Maddie Gnomes, a teenager with her own mysterious secrets, including a knowledge of the legend of the Shadow. Most disturbing, Khan's power continues to be felt over the city and its people. No one in this new world understands the dangers of stopping him better than Lamont Cranston, and that only the Shadow has a chance of succeeding before more innocent lives are lost. So this is kind of like time travel, maybe, with the century and a half later. So, yeah, it sounded really good. The next one we got here, I'm not going to read, is Blade Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. This is book 2, I think, to Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I've not read that book yet, but I saw they had this one, so I really want to get to this series. The next one we got here is The House in the Pines by Anna Rise. And this one says, Maya was a high school senior when her best friend Aubrey mysteriously dropped dead in front of the enigmatic man named Frank, who they'd been spending time with all summer. 7 years later, Maya lives in Boston with a loving boyfriend and is kicking the secret addiction that has allowed her to cope with what happened years ago, the gaps in her memories, and the lost time that she can't account for. But her past comes rushing back when she sees a recent YouTube video in which a young woman suddenly keels over and dies in a diner while sitting across from none other than Frank. Plunged into the trauma that has defined her life, Maya heads to her Berkshire's hometown to relive that fateful summer. The influence Frank once had on her and the obsessive jealousy that nearly destroyed her friendship with Aubrey. At her mother's house, she excavates fragments of her past and notices hidden messages in her deceased Guatemalan father's book that didn't stand out to her earlier. To save herself, she must understand a story written before she was born. But times keep running out, and soon all roads are leading back to Frank's cabin. So I thought this one sounded really, really good. I've never read anything by Anna Rise, so we'll see. The next book we've got here is Starbringer by Tracy Wolff. Look at this beautiful book. I'm pretty sure this was a number 1. And this one says, the sun is dying and it's happening way too fast. With the clock ticking, the 9 planets' only hope of survival rests on a fancy space station and an alien artifact it's carrying. Which is why it really sucks when someone doesn't want the universe saved and blows that station up while you're still on it. So, if your only choices are flaming death or stealing a flying hunk of space junk, you pick that busted spaceship. even if it leaves 7 strangers with deadly secrets trapped together. A princess, a prisoner, a con artist, a warrior, a priestess, a mercenary, and in charge of us all. Now every faction in the galaxy is hunting this ship, from the Sisterhood to the Corporation, and the rebellion's joining in on the fun too. We just need to stop drinking, fighting long enough to evade them all and save the freaking universe somehow. So, yeah, I really like that cover. It's really pretty. The end pages are pretty too, with the planets. So we'll see. It sounded kind of quirky. And then we've got Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Let's see what this one says. In November 1991, Nirvana's in the tape deck. George H.W. Bush is in the White House, and movie-obsessed college student Charlie Jordan is in a car with a man who might be a serial killer. Josh Baxter, the man behind the wheel, is a virtual stranger to Charlie. They met at a campus ride board, each looking to share the long drive home to Ohio. Both have good reasons for wanting to get away. For Charlie, it's guilt and grief over the shocking murder of her best friend, who became the 3rd victim of the man known as the campus killer. For Josh, it's to help care for his sick father, or so he says. The longer she sits in the passenger seat, the more Charlie notices there's something suspicious about Josh. From the holes in his story about his father to how he doesn't want her to see inside the trunk, as they travel an empty, twisty highway in the dead of night, an increasingly anxious Charlie begins to think she's sharing a car with the campus killer. Is Josh truly dangerous, or is Charlie's jittery mistrust merely a figment of her movie-fueled imagination? One thing is certain, Charlie has nowhere to run and no way to call for help. Trapped in a terrifying game of cat and mouse played out on pitch-black roads and in a neon-lit parking lot, Charlie knows the only way to win is to survive the night. Yes. And I like Riley Sager. I think he's pretty good, so we'll see about that one. And the last book we've got here is The Wren in the Howley Library. This is by K.A. Lind. And look at how beautiful this is. Okay, and this one says, some things aren't supposed to exist outside our imagination. 13 years ago, monsters emerged from the shadows and plunged Kirsa's world into a cataclysmic war of near-total destruction. The New York City she knew so well collapsed practically overnight. In the wake of that carnage, the Monster Treaty was created, a truce of sorts. But tonight, Kirsa, a gifted and fearless thief, will break that treaty. She'll enter the Howley Library, not knowing it's the home of a monster. He's charming, quietly alluring, and terrifying, but he knows talent when he sees it. It's just a matter of finding her prize. Now she's locked into a dangerous bargain with a creature unlike any other. She'll sacrifice her freedom. She'll offer her skills. Together, they'll put their own futures at risk. But he's been playing the game across centuries. And once she joins in, there will be no escape. So, yes, that one sounded really good as well. And those are the books that I have been getting in this month. I don't buy books as often as I used to buy books because now I buy craft supplies. So if you guys have read any of these books that I talked about today, please let me know down in the comments below and we can have a little chat about it. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for staying tuned and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.